So time, place, person. Of course you learn time, place, person. And だけども何かやります。Did you have some sort of practice about time, place, person? Drawing an epidemic curve or calculating the male-female ratio? No? No practice, no training. そんなことは実習はしませんねよね。実習というか。絵を描いたりとか計算したりとか。Okay, so I'll give you some idea. Yeah, time, place, person. It's a very beautiful word. However, for the public health officers, field epidemiologists, time means, こっちは person. Time means epidemic curve. Have you heard of epidemic curve? 流行曲線とか聞いたことありますか In Japanese, 流行曲線 epidemic curve. Epidemic curve is like here. It's a vertical axis. It's a time frame. For example, July 1st, July 2nd, or whatever. The vertical, horizontal. It's a vertical axis is a number of cases. And so we plot the onset of disease of each cases. I'll come back to the next slide. And the place component, our field epidemiologists use maps. Person component, we usually analyze age distribution and also male-female ratio and also distribution according by the professional job or professional histories or whatever family history or whatever. I'll come back again. So あれちょっとずれてるな。すみません。Sorry about that. So this epi curve. Horizontal axis is a timeline and vertical axis is a number of cases. あれちょっとこれもうちょっと上な。Sorry about that. It's some sort of that. It's a epidemic curve of 何です。It's a meningitis, viral meningitis. Yeah, I involved in this in Cyprus. Cyprus ってキプロスとSo it's like this curve. We plot onset of each cases and total is more than 400. It's just example of epi curve. And when we means epidemiologists, when we draw epidemic curve, we have some idea about transmission. Only one peak, sharp rise and sharp decline, sharp down. It's we call point sources. So this point source curve means maybe 1 week before or several days before, maybe same exposure, we can assume. So we have some idea about transmissions or exposures. And for this continuing, we call continuing common source, it's occurred very dara. It's always we have a cases from the very beginning of September or so we call continuing common source. That means our epidemiologists assume maybe the same exposure or same source was continuing. For example, contaminated water of the well in the village was continuing. So that's why the case was occurring again and again. And multiple waves, for example, 2 waves of epidemic curve. In such situation, on such epidemic curve, our field epidemiologists think about maybe human to human, person to person outbreaks, Ebola or measles. Let's say first peak. Then the cases of this first peak will transmit the virus, bacteria or virus, measles virus, to others. So several peaks. So human to human, person to person transmission. Yeah, the drawing epidemic is important for field epidemiologists to identify, to know, to have some idea about transmission, source of the disease or pathogens. Maybe in the near future or in near future career, now you're moving on to the public health practice, so you have chance to draw epidemic curve and have some idea how to transmit the disease person to person or single exposure. It's a foodborne disease. And it's a person component, age distribution. This chart is not so good. We usually use some sort of pie chart or whatever, much more beautiful one. This is also the meningitis in many years ago. And for place component, we usually use maps. Maps of the cities, or sometimes we usually use maps of the hospitals, or maps of the ward, or maps of the patient room when we encounter the nosocomial outbreak issues. 病室の地図なんかも使うんですね。院内感染なんかの使う。It's some area map. ちょっと色分けして、so area map color by color. So we identified how many is a high proportion, high prevalence of the disease, high incidence of the disease or whatever. This is just example. And spot map. We put some red spot of the cases, the residential area of cases, or workplace of the cases. So maybe you have some idea what is some epicenter. Epicenter means center of the epidemic or epidemics. Is where it is. For example, in this case, it's a Dublin, it's Ireland. Maybe the case was scattered around the cities, and maybe there's no cluster in the workplaces, or there's no cluster of the residential area. After we set up some descriptive, we establish descriptive epidemiology according to time, place, person, and have some idea what is the cause or route, transmission route, and risk factors. Then that's a hypothesis. We are moving on to the test hypothesis. 大体okay, now I stress again, I emphasize again, time, place, person. So for the public health professionals, or not only the public health professionals, public health researchers, now you are here, for that purpose, now you are here. Time, place, person is very important. So when you are working with data, population data of a human, or population data of animals, or whatever, population data, summarizing the data according to time, place, person, and analyzing the data according to time, place, person, then you have some idea. So you can keep the right track for research-oriented activities or public health action-oriented, practice-oriented activities, even regardless of research, regardless of practice. Sorry about in Japanese a little bit. 日本語でちょっとこれ強調しておきますね。リサーチのフィールドでも、パブリックスプラクティスの講師衛生の現場でも、人の集団、動物の集団、何かの集団を扱う場合にはですね、時人場所で情報を集めて、時人場所で情報を解析したら、そんなに外れることはない。というのが長年の私がやっていて自信が持って言える数少ないことの一つですので、これだけ覚えておいた方がいい。また、I emphasize that again later again. So I emphasize again in Japanese. Analytical epidemiology. Sorry about that. So I do not have time in detail move into this topics in detail. However, ちょっとだけレビューしておきましょうか。Do you remember the case control cohort analytical? Okay, so I review it again a little bit.